What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel for another video. Welcome to Melbrook Hound Training and Outdoors. So my channel has been hammering down and knocking out so many coon hound training videos, right? And I sitting down, explaining to y'all in depth what needs to be done, how things work, what we can go from to go to fix this, to get that done. And I've also started the Facebook group. That thing is blowing up. It's over 4,000 people now. And my channel here, you know, I'm less than 130 subs away from 1,000 subs, and that's been my big goal. I want to hit 1,000 subs. So y'all do me the favor, get down there and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And for all of you that have, thank you so much. The first big one that I want to talk about and address, and I'm a little late to the game, is deer season. Okay, so deer season has never been my favorite time of year, right? It's never been my favorite time of year. I know a lot of you guys are probably huge deer hunters that probably really love running the whitetails or doing whatever you guys do, right? So up here in Michigan, whitetail is the game, right? And the guys are very, very dead serious about their deer hunting. I have never been a big deer hunter. I never really cared for deer hunting. I've always been a hound running guy, right? So my big facet and all my hunting has always been running hounds, coon hunting. I'm new to the squirrel game, right? So I've never really cared much for anything else other than coon hunting. Starting to learn and get the favor of squirrel hunting. I will say the one thing that deer season has done is gotten completely away in the way of me squirrel hunting, because I'm not the guy that I don't want to put my dog in the woods. Why? I don't know who's out there, especially on public land. You know, if I had a lot more solid private land hashed out, something that was a lot closer, easy to get to every day, I would probably be out there every day. But being in public land, and I've already been out there and through bow season, lots of deer stands, lots of trail cams, not my favorite thing in the world. And now they got guns, so I don't want to get tagged with a bullet. I don't want my dog to get tagged with a bullet. I don't have no issues out there, so I'm just kind of staying out of the woods in that sense. I'm probably going to go ahead and grab a fur harvester tag and then get out in the woods and start trying to coon hunt Tilly. I don't know if she's ready for that. I would like her to have been a little bit farther along in the squirrel hunting department before I put her on coon, but hey, what are we going to do? I like keeping my dogs in the woods, so I think that's going to be my next step, my next push. I'm just waiting for a little bit of time here. I don't even know what I'm waiting for, humming around, but we're going to get her out there and try her out. But back to the deer season tips, man. If we are coon hunting and we want to coon hunt through deer season, okay, so one big thing that you'll hear all the time, man, is people don't want you hunting during deer season because you'll chase all the deer off. Now, that is the case if your dog runs deer, okay? That's the only thing that I'm going to tell you. If we have a public land that we hunt all the time and we have our dogs out there all year and the deer are there, they're used to your dogs don't run deer, you're not doing nothing. You know what I mean? If you've been in the woods, you know, a lot of nights throughout the year, your scent's all over them woods, your dog scent's all over them woods, and them deer are still there, them deer are still happy. And as long as your dog is not running deer, you aren't messing up anything, right? So don't feel ashamed to put your dog in the woods at deer season. My favorite time of the year is to put my dog in the woods in deer season because I'm laughing the whole time, because every time I see somebody, oh, I got a big buck out of there, oh, I shot this doe over here, I'm like, yeah, well, I just treated 3 coons underneath that tree, you was right there, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, let them have their time and we have our time. You know, take the dog to the woods. And the only thing that I will say, okay, so up here in Michigan, I don't know how this is around other states, but up here in Michigan, the legalities of things are, if you don't have your trail cam tagged with your name and you don't have your tree stand tag with your name, and I believe locked to the tree with a chain, it's anybody's game, right? So you can go out there and you can take the equipment if they don't have it properly tagged. I myself, I've never done that. I never thought that was the right thing to do, and I would never do that, right? So that's something that I'm not a big fan of. I know people that do it. I know people that go out there looking just specifically to do that, which is it's just like a huge thing. Like, why would you do that, man? So let's leave people's stuff alone. Number one. Number two here is, if we get a dog that wants to be running around somebody's tree stand, then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to try to stay away from there, right? Because I don't like milling around people's stuff, you know, even on an off chance. And then trail cams as well. So up here on this public land, that I currently hunt, I have been caught on so many trail cams. I am uncomfortable with it, right? I've never seen so many trail cams, and they're not just the old school kind of trail cams anymore, man. They got the antennas on them. They relay the pictures directly back to the guy, right? So he's getting it live on his phone. That dude's standing in front of my deer stand. That dude's standing in front of my trail cam. And I've had a couple of guys on my way out of the woods. I see, I'm like, okay, I've been busted. That's a fancy one. I'm getting out of here. On the way out, they're on the way in, right? So we got to watch what we're doing out there, because some guys get really hot-headed about their stuff. Some guys will show up on you. You know, you catch you on that trail cam, get that live footage of you. They're going to come out there and they're going to check up on their stuff. And maybe they are hot-headed, maybe they're not. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they really, really care, right? So we're inviting some stuff on that sense. Some tricks that I always try to keep in the back of my mind when I'm out in the woods and I'm looking for, looking to do some coon hunting, especially at night. What we want to do is we want to keep an eye out and we want to look for trail cams. We want to make sure that we're paying a kind of attention, right? Am I walking down this big deer path, right? So if you're taking a path through the woods and it is a game trail, more than likely at some point in time you're going to come across a deer cam, right? So one thing that you can always catch, because you don't want to get caught on the camera, right? So one thing you can always catch is a little shine of the lens. Okay, I've seen them out of the corner of my eye and go, oh well, there's another one, right? Some other things that we can do is the straps on the tree. Them are very they stick out kind of like a sore thumb if you're paying attention. A lot of guys put them like right here eye level, so they're always getting the picture of your face. I don't like my face getting out there to a bunch of people I don't know, right? So that's why I kind of avoid it. I don't really care. There's nothing wrong with it. Especially one thing that will happen, what your dog will do is your dog will go out, you'll cut your dog loose and he'll get out there and he'll run. But it'll seem like he's wonky-ish, or not going so fast, not striking up, but he's definitely tracking something. You can see clearly he is tracking something, but he hasn't struck and he's not moving like 100 miles an hour. He might be trailing the person that went out there and set that trail cam up. He might be running over the tracks of the guy that just came out of the woods a couple hours earlier, right? So we can kind of get an idea. He's kind of doing some weird stuff. Or if you have ran a dog a lot, or if you've hunted a lot, you can kind of get the idea, like the dog is taking like a person path, right? The path of least resistance at every single step of the way. You can kind of know, like, oh, that he's not walking through the brush, he's walking through the open. He's not going over the down tree, he's going around the down tree. Certain things like that we can just kind of put two and two together and go, this is probably another hunter, right? Another big one too, I always like doing it, is watching for feet tracks or prints in the ground, right? So that's another big one too, guys. If we're out there in the woods, it doesn't matter what time of year that we are, we should always be watching the ground for different types of prints, right? So if we're following our dog straight through somewhere and we're looking around, we know we're kind of following the same path on the GPS as our dog. Keep your eye on the ground to say, okay, I see deer tracks, I don't see any coon tracks. What's this? You know, he's only running these deer, or here's boot prints, he's running these boot prints down, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do to kind of go in our head and go, okay, we are probably heading into somebody's hunting area, or we're getting over into somebody's probably gonna have a stand coming up, or somebody's probably gonna have a deer trail cam coming up, and that kind of whole thing. And what you have to watch out for, now this is a big one, what you have to watch out for, some guys, they will set you up, okay? So they will set you up. I actually had this happen to me. Nothing came about it because I wasn't doing anything illegal. But somebody had ran a drag in the woods and buried it in a hole in front of a trail cam. So when my dog went in there, he ran the drag and was digging it out of the hole. And I go get my dog out of the hole, turn around, I'm on camera. And I just kind of went, you know, I'm not doing anything illegal. And so you guys can try to do this all you want to do. But you got to watch out. Some people will do very funny stuff like that. And if they have caught you or your dog on the trail cam a lot of times, or you've got a dog going into the same area a lot, and Some guys are not the best of characters, man. They can put stuff out to poison your dog. They can do all kinds of shady stuff. So we want to pay attention, and we want to make sure that we are avoiding them, because number one, we're giving them their space. Okay, so we are giving them their space to have their hunt, right? And if they bust us on the trail camera, they know that we've been there. They're already going to be kind of leery. They might come in there and they might move their stuff. Whatever, let them do them. One thing that I always like to do is, if I get busted on a trail camera, walking in front of a trail camera without my dog, I put my dog on the leash and I walk back in front of that trail camera. And why I do that is because what ends up happening is, a lot of times they only get the guy walking in, and then you're plastered all over Facebook. You're plastered all over the local, Facebook channel. Anybody know who this is? They're over here, blah, blah, blah. Or these guys keep coming over here, or whatever. Public land, whatever the case may be. It's completely fine and legal here to retrieve a dog. And thankfully, I haven't had to off of any private property up around here. But, everybody knows how it goes, man. It's the name of the game. But if you walk in front of a trail cam and you know it's there, it's probably in your best interest to walk back in front of that trail cam with your dog on a leash, so they can take a picture of you by yourself and a picture of you with your dog coming out of there, right? So they have no cause, no raise for concern, like somebody is camping on their property. Like they walked in there and never got him coming out. He's still back there, whatever the case may be. Another good thing here that I will say is, watch out for the gut piles. Okay, so watch out for the gut piles. Your deer hunters, they are going to dump them gut piles. They're going to have gut piles, right? There's going to be gut piles in the woods, number one. Up here already, I've already seen it. Guys dumping carcasses right on the 2-track, right? Dumping their carcasses right on the 2-track. When I was downstate, they always had a little parking area. They'd come back and they'd dump their carcass right on the other side of the guardrail for the parking area. And watch out for that stuff, man. And if you know that there's a gut pile there, or that there's a carcass there, just stay away from it. It's in your best interest to just stay away from it, right? Because we can put our dog on it and shock it off there. Come back tomorrow, put our dog on it and shock it off there. After at some point, that no longer smells like a deer. That just smells like rotten, nasty stuff. And the dog's going to go play in it. The dog's going to go eat it. The dog's going to do whatever, right? So just because it's a carcass there does not mean that smells like deer. So if we're zapping our dog off a carcass, it probably doesn't do anything, right, at a certain point, at a certain age of that carcass being out there. Now, I had a couple situations where I hunted with a couple guys that, they'd ride me around the state land. The first time this happened to me, I was so infuriated. But at the end of the day, I just kind of went, what can I do about it? But I went to hunt on a piece of state land with a guy, and he's like, hey, take your dog right over there and cut him right over there. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever, what I got to worry about. Cut my dog off. 5 more feet in the ditch was a deer carcass. And the dog went right over there, got right on the deer carcass, and I just went, I can't, why would you even, do that to me? Why would you even do it to my dog? But at the same time, I knew better, and I just shooed my dog off it, and he went on and ended up treeing one. So I wasn't too mad about it, but I was pretty upset at the guy. Like, you didn't have to do that, That was something wrong of you to do. So just watch out, man. Just watch out what we're doing out there. Gut piles are a big one. Carcasses are a big one. Make sure we're not running down a hunter out there late retrieving a deer. People stay in the woods too late, man. So there's a lot of things that we should be cautious of. One thing that I always tended to do is wait until it was way later, right? So way later in the night and then go, because then you can guarantee everybody's out of there for the night. You can guarantee a lot of those tracks are too old for your dog to run, or your dog ain't gonna want to have no dealings with it, because it's just too old, too cold, right? So that we can prevent some of that happening. Later in the night, you have a less chance of the guy getting a live pick on his trail cam and showing up while you're out there in the woods waiting for you. Another thing, like I said, if we walk in front of a trail cam and we know it, and we're close to getting our dog, get our dog on a leash, walk back in front of it, so the opposite way, so they kind of know, like, oh, he just went in there and got his dog. He's not taking my stuff. Another thing, like I said, if we get caught on a trail cam, give them a nod, give them a wave, give them a, like, it's all good. I'm not going to take your stuff. I'm not messing with your stuff. Like, I'm just here doing my business. Another thing here too is like the guy that wanted to run a drag or do the other side of things, right? So the guy that ended up running a drag, I never met the guy, never seen the guy, whatever, but I knew what he had done, and he knew what he had done, and from the trail cam pictures that was left after that, it's all good, right? So we cleared that up. One thing that we can do, like I was talking about, is we can shine our light directly on the camera, but by that time you probably already got a picture taken of you. You probably already been caught on camera. But I don't know if this is true. I don't want anybody to take this to heart, but in my brain, in my opinion about it, and why I do it is if you shine the light on the night vision should go blind, and they should have a white picture instead of a picture of you standing there going, I'm just getting my dog, man. You know, so anyways, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Get down here, hit that like, subscribe. This is going to be the deer season tips video. It's a little late in the game, but y'all keep them treed.